Hello, magic makers, and welcome to this time a full moon reading instead of a new moon reading. And that's because I will be away for 2 weeks, which is exactly when new moon will be. So I won't be able to do it for you because I'll be in the wilderness of the New Zealand, where there's normally no internet connection whatsoever. So yeah, a bit of a change. Hopefully it will be nice and fresh. And because new moon is about something different than full moon, or maybe the other way around, today's reading is going to be a bit different as well, because normally I talk about cards on the position of letting go and letting in for the upcoming lunar cycle. But full moon is more about appreciation and celebration of what has already happened in the current lunar cycle. So you will see that instead of letting go, I'll be talking about warnings for this particular time in the reading. And instead of letting in, I'll be talking more about what's good to celebrate and cherish fully right now. Okay, so the first card, which is on the warning, so to speak, position, and that's talking about what we should be careful about. We've got Three of Wands there, which is really interesting in relation to the last new moon reading, where we had the Four of Wands on the letting in card, and it was all about building consciously, creating a conscious project, having some kind of a direction, and then making action and effort to make it happen. Now, the Three of Wands here is about pushing too much. At least that's what I see on the picture, because you've got a guy who's pulling on a rope, but it's almost like he doesn't realize there are 3 wands on the other end of it, and if you pull too much, then the whole construction that you have created, the whole shape, will fall apart, right? And another interesting thing I see in there is that he's alone. And so yeah, I think it's warning us against this, against micromanaging, wanting to do everything yourself, because you either feel like you are the only one who can do things properly, or you are scared or not really comfortable with asking for help for whatever reason. But the thing is, this is not sustainable long term, right? Because even if you go back and look at the previous reading, the Four of Wands is very stable, and that's partially because there is cooperation. So yeah, the warning for this full moon is about not trying to do everything by yourself, not feeling like you got to do everything yourself, because that's not sustainable, it's not realistic, and it's just gonna tire you and exhaust you, and it's not going to work in the end anyways, because you will have to push more doing everything yourself, and just like on the picture, that will eventually lead into exhaustion of you and the whole project that you're working on. So moving on to the next card, which is the card about celebration and cherishing something, we've got the Fool. And the Fool is the first card in the whole tarot, and it has number 0, which is kind of speaking for itself, because this card is all about new beginnings, and it's a tabula rasa, so basically a clean sheet of paper where you can start from scratch and scribble or draw whatever you wish. It's about playfulness and joy, and basically about everything that we forget when we become adults and we get sucked into all the worries and troubles of the everyday life. So What I think the card is trying to tell us here is that right now is the best time to get back into your child energy and to imagine that you are 4 or 5 years old again, or whatever age you prefer. But basically that age where you had no real responsibilities, you didn't have to worry about anything, you were just playing and enjoying the moment, exploring, not being scared of failure or whatever. This will act kind of as an antidote to the struggles and to the pushing that you might be doing right now, and that is tiring. So this will help you to replenish all your energy and to find that spark of, passion or joy or whatever motivated you to start doing the current project or whatever you are working on in the first place. I'll give you an example from my personal life. So sometimes I get really freaked out by all the mess we have in the house. There are toys everywhere. The laundry hasn't been done. It's still wet in the washing machine. I still haven't put it out and I need to do another load or whatever. Then I need to prepare something to eat, but there are still dirty dishes somewhere. Josefina is asking me 30 things at once and I'm like, falling apart. I'm having a meltdown because I feel like I gotta do everything. Everything has to be in order, otherwise something horrible will happen. And the Fool is literally saying, what would you do in such a situation if you were 5 years old as well? And the answer is, I would probably forget about all the dishes and all this crap and I would just go jumping on the bed with Josefina, right? Because it's so much more fun and actually makes much more sense as well. Because even if I tidy things up, there are going to be toys everywhere in 10 minutes again anyways. So in a way, it's very irrational to try to keep everything in order 50 times a day because it's not going to go anywhere anyways. And the last card, the guidance card, is actually talking about the same. The one that came up today is the card called Mystery, and it's all about allowing the possibility of not knowing what's going to happen next and about letting go of that need of control all the time. And, going back to the first card again, that's why we get so exhausted and tired and pushy, because we are trying to be in control of what's going to happen next, what's going to happen in the future, so that we can feel like we have prepared for every single possible scenario, even though we know it's not actually possible, because I'm pretty sure you know from your own life that, something will come up all the time and it will definitely be something, or maybe the only thing that you haven't prepared for because you haven't even imagined this could be an option. So again, the guidance card, I think, is kind of guiding us back to our child selves and connecting to our inner 5 years olds and asking, what do they need? What would they advise us to do in this very situation? Okay, so as always, I hope it all makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions or insights or whatever. I always love hearing from you. And talk to you next time. Bye.